I was recently involved in a case in June with a client of mine who was an immigrant who had very little ability to speak English and was involved in a motor vehicle accident where he was struck and there was a considerable amount of damage to the vehicle. This case presented an interesting medical scenario as opposed to a negligence scenario. We knew who was at fault for the accident. The question was whether the accident produced the injuries which we were claiming in our case. Several days before our accident, our client had gone to a doctor and had complained that he was having neck pain and he was having numbness into his hands, both hands, bilaterally. He had also had an MRI of his neck because there was some concern over the fact that he might have some disc pathology. After our accident, our claim was that our client's neck pain got worse, and as a result, he had additional treatment and a subsequent MRI. The initial reading of the subsequent MRI from our own doctors indicated that they did not believe that there was any change in the MRI results. In other words, there was no injury, at least injury from the standpoint of a mechanical injury, from the first accident, or from before the accident to after the accident. The films were identical. And because of that, any problems associated with the neck were pre-existing. Another doctor took a look at those films and ultimately went on and did surgery because the individual's symptoms had deteriorated. Unfortunately, that doctor as well had indicated that only a portion of our injuries were related to the motor vehicle accident. In analyzing and looking at the MRI results, it appeared that, to me at least, that prior to the motor vehicle accident, although the MRI films and reports looked similar, that in the subsequent films after the accident, that there was a level of cord compression that I did not believe was there beforehand. And after speaking to the doctors and consulting with the other attorneys in our office, we made a determination that we believed that the injuries that my client was experiencing were causally related to this accident, and we thought that we could prove that the injuries and the surgery was as a result of the accident. Now, the insurance company in this case made a determination that they were going to offer us very little. In fact, I think that the offer on the case was certainly under $100,000. And based on our analysis and my analysis, I made a determination that we'd take a shot at this because I didn't think that that number was accurate, and I thought that we could explain that there was a change in that MRI film. Now, after going through what I would say an arduous process and after years of litigation, we just got a result on that case of $1.4 million for our client, and obviously the client is much happier with that than the number of less than $100,000.